Now we're talking about leverage. And again, there's operating leverage and financial leverage. We're going to focus for a little while here on operating leverage. Now the way you analyze operating leverage is through what we call break-even analysis. And most textbooks will give you a break-even formula, which I've put in the box over here. But how do you calculate break-even? What is break-even for a company? Now, break-even is where total revenue equals total cost. And if we're going to derive this equation over here, we would break total revenue down to be price per unit times quantity. So if we produce and sell 200 blue shirts and we sell them at $10 a piece, our total revenue would be $2,000, price times quantity. Our fixed cost and our variable cost now add up to be total cost. And what is variable cost? Well, variable cost is the variable cost per unit multiplied by the number of units produced and sold. So when I write VC here now, that's not total variable cost, that's variable cost per unit. And if you multiply that by the number of units you produce and sell, then you have total variable cost. Now, this formula right here that you see, what we're going to do is solve this formula for Q. The first thing I do is I subtract this term from both sides, which will leave me with price times quantity minus variable cost per unit times quantity, and all of that equaling fixed cost. From these two elements here, I can factor out a Q, that's the common element. And if I do that, I end up with Q times price minus variable cost equaling fixed cost. I can then solve for Q by dividing both sides by price minus variable cost per unit. And that's how we come up with this formula right here, which is our break-even point formula. And it tells us the number of units we have to produce and sell in order to reach what we call operating break-even. We're going to talk about what operating break-even is in the next video, but this is how you derive the break-even point formula so that you can analyze the effects of employing more fixed costs or less fixed costs in your company.